And good morning on this cold Thursday morning, dipping around the 30-degree mark here in North Georgia as we broadcast live from the Cornbread Man Studios. Happy to be here. Hope you're having a good week so far and looking forward to a great weekend, we hope. And maybe got some plans, got some good things going on. It is the holiday season. Parades be happening. Some have already occurred. Some are going to occur. There's been some delays in some Christmas parades. They'll pick those up. Weather changed things, but they'll get those in. Getting closer. Make sure you've got your items you're going to get. It is an online shopping season once again. The stores are not as busy, which is not good for them, but they're making online sales. So I guess it balances out. Well, it's been an interesting week so far in the world of a lot of things, politics, sports, and everything else. And I'm looking forward to this weekend's football games. Can't wait. It's going to be a great down here in the Southeast anyway with Georgia and Alabama and Indiana, Ohio State, another part of the region. Those will be great. There'll be some others, but that's some that we're looking forward to. And we root for the Dogs, obviously. Don't forget to go back if you didn't see and tune in. I know we had a little bit of lag. We had a piece go down in the studio that was causing us a little bit of lag. I didn't know it at the time, but our friends that we had in the Neils, make sure that you go back and see that and pray for them and support them. We're going to get their information up on a card here soon, and we'll have them back in. Looking forward to continuing with them. I had a really good time last night. Me and Dean did in the racing hour, talking about the lawsuit that's occurring and going on. Good morning, Brother Broski. And also the sports show, Your Bears. Broski, we talked about. We're a believer. They're no joke. I admit it. I didn't think they would play quite that strong. I thought they would make that slow next step to progress. But no, they just jumped on the bandwagon, in the middle of the arena as a gladiator and said, "Here we are, and we're not going away." So they could make some noise. I'll admit it. Do I think they'll win it all? No, but I wouldn't say they couldn't because they're playing that good. So team gets confidence heading into the playoffs is a powerful, powerful thing. Now, playoffs is a whole nother season, and it can bring experiences that you're not used to. Nerves are how you handle that. I remember way back when it was the 49ers against Dallas. Remember the drive? If you remember that, anything about that, the 49ers got the ball back. They had only so much time to make it down the field. I mean, they had enough time, but still, it's, the world is watching, at least sports world. And anyway, Joe Montana steps into the huddle, and he looks in the faces of all of his tight ends and Dwight Clark and all them. And he's looking in their faces, and he can see that they're with him, but they're nervous, like they just don't have that eye of the tiger look. They're worried, like, oh, this is it. And so he does a great thing where he just looks up into the stands and he says, "Well, there's John Candy." And he took their focus off of the nervousness they had about the drive. And they're like, "What? John Candy? We got this drive." And he's like, basically, let's go win this thing. And they did. It's one of those things, who can say right now has the best chance to win it? Oh, there's no standout Bears time. Oh, I definitely agree, man. There's absolutely no doubt they can win it all. And I won't doubt them, because all of the teams that have shown themselves to be the traditional powerhouses, they're having hiccups. The Eagles have, the Bills have, the Packers have. There's two or three more. The Rams, they just lost to a team they should have never lost to. So yeah, I won't doubt them, and they're on a winning streak. I mean, they're just getting it done. So, it may be one of those stories, man. It may be one of those stories that occurs. Hey, today is National Sock Day. I don't know if you know that. National Sock Day. It's also National Cabaret Franc Day, but I don't worry about that. But National Sock Day is a good one, because you need a good pair of socks on your feet today in this cold weather, But yeah, National Sock Day. I wonder who ever came up with the first sock. But get your socks in today. So definitely enjoy that. There's also Santa's List Day. Santa's List Day. He's checking it over twice and all that good stuff. And it is also Wildlife Conservation Day. That's a good thing too. It is unseasonably cold in the South, and I've been thinking all week, like my body, which I've been recovering from some stuff, but it has definitely affected me more than usual. I can feel it, like, it's a little harder to get going in the mornings. Man, here's a good one. National Cookie Day is today too. National Cookie Day. That's a winner winner chicken dinner right there. And National Dice Day, for all you people that play dice games. It's National Dice Day. A lot of nationals today. So I'll take that list. That's pretty cool. Pretty dang cool. Your birthday's today. Jay-Z is 55 years old today. 55. Jay-Z. Not a fan, but he is 55. Jelly Roll, 40. Jelly Roll is 40 years old today. Tyra Banks is 51. That seems a little, just didn't realize she had crossed into the 50s. Let's see. Tony Todd, who passed away last year, was his birthday. Jeff Bridges. He's done a lot of different kind of roles. Jeff Bridges, 75 years old today. Kevin Sussman, another actor I'm familiar with, 54 years old today. Let's see if there's anybody else on the birthday calendar today that stands out. Oh, I know who it was. How did I miss that? Because I remember looking at it. Uh, I think I think it was George Washington's birthday today. I think, or maybe that's not. Maybe he stepped down today or something. Maybe retired. Maybe that's what it was. Not birthday. I think he retired today. That's what it was. General Washington retired today in 1783. No, I was not at the ceremony, and nor do I remember it. Oh, but yeah, that happened today. Also in 1956, the great jam between Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, and the rest. That was today when they did that. So interesting things today. So they called the $1 Million Quartet. That was in 1956. That was Presley, Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, and Jerry Lee Lewis. Oh, Jerry Lee, Mr. 13-year-old cousin. How dumb can you be? He had a career, but that career was supposed to be so much bigger. Tremendously talented individual, was rivaling Elvis for a time in those days, and he blew it. He absolutely blew it. But unquestionable talent, on the piano, and a good singer too. Yeah, but he was young and hip and everything else in those days, and he made that trip to England, wasn't it? Started asking questions, and boy, did it go downhill from there. Well, are we going to do some bombing runs on Venezuela? I don't know. Um, wanting Maduro to get the heck out with no protections, no guarantees, no nothing. Pretty much, you will die if you don't. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm gathering out of this. Leave or die. Leave or die. Fascinating times, folks. Fascinating times. Carrier group down there, the Gerald R. Ford carrier group. And Broski says, I just stayed in the oldest house in downtown Charlottesville, Virginia, built in 1785. It is now part of the Inn at Court Square. Wow. That's pretty cool. 1785. I would like to go there. Very historic city. I just get tired of hearing about it for the stupidity that occurred there. It's like they try to taint the town now, like it's ugly town and all that. No, it's a very historic town. I've been in Virginia, but I've never quite been there. Just never in my travels. I've never been to the town. Just wasn't the area that I was to be at, and but I'd like to go. I would like to go there and see some of that. There's a lot of old colonial top towns, and they got the inns and the bread and breakfast and stuff like that. That'd be a fun tour. I would like to go to some of those. I think that would be a fun tour, to do some of that. Get some of the old, the very oldest areas of the country, and some of that, a lot of that's preserved, not all of it, but a lot of things like that. We're pretty fortunate here that we have some very old housing that occurred because of the fort that was here. So we have a lot of bed and breakfasts and stuff, and they've pretty well preserved that area. The fort's obviously not really there, but the houses are, a lot of them, and a lot of them have been fixed up, and you can find them on, they can come in and stay in them. But they've done a good job of that. Charlottesville is thriving. I stayed there on my travels to Philly. It's almost exactly halfway between Charlotte and Philly. I didn't know that. Okay, interesting. Charlottesville and Lynchburg are great towns. Yeah, and when I was watching the Waltons, they always mention Charlottesville, and every once in a while Lynchburg. And Rockfish. No, that's a good area. I've been to like New Market, and I've been to trying to think of the name of the town, but I was in a lot of small towns in my travels in Virginia. But I did stay in some areas. I mean, I've been to Richmond, Rocky Mount. That was another town I was in. The home of Jubal Early, General Jubal Early. I remember that. So I went to their Chamber of Commerce. I think it was in a rail car. That's pretty cool. And went there, but it's fun. You know, if a person could ever, okay, yeah, that's cool. I have a, I don't, all of my family really originally, from my understanding, came in through North Carolina. So we don't really have, I mean, they might have been some that branched off went there. Most of ours went south and southwest. There might have been a small branch, but we really don't have that I know of Virginia background, but it's a lot of it is North Carolina, and then down through the land lotteries, getting the extra draws because of the Revolutionary War service and coming down. And Dahlonega was a touch point for us here in Georgia, and then across the state, there was land to be had. You could was 155 acres. You had was it 4 or 5 years to make it a working farm, and it was yours. But then they kept moving into Alabama and just kept moving and on out west, Texas, Oklahoma, and on to California. We got family. Looking through the family tree, it's all out through there, and so don't see a lot of anything now. There could have been some, I'm sure, that branched off and went into the northern states and maybe even up in the Midwest, but I don't see it as a direct. Most of ours were, North Carolina, and then made that turn south and then west. Some stayed, some moved on, and a lot of times they were looking for more farmland. Uh, you know, we did have. I think we might have had some that went through Kentucky down into Tennessee as well. It's been a while since I looked at that, but yeah, straight out of England on my dad's side. Now my mom's was a little bit different, so a lot of Tennessee history there. On back from there, I don't know. Ireland for sure. But I'd like to go up in that area. I'd like to stay and visit some of that. I'm a guy. I'm a history buff, so I like to go through cemeteries, and cemeteries tell a tale of your town, of the history of your town. You get out, you can go out and start looking at the dates, and you look and see when a lot of young children passed back in the day when the diseases came through, and it just it wiped out a good part of the town, especially small town. You get out in a cemetery, and it tells a tale. It really, really does. And there's just a lot to be learned there. And you can go do your records check, your courthouse, looking back through the history and the pieces that you get together. It's quite interesting, you know. But the good thing is that, I mean, it is, this oldest section, Virginia and North Carolina, and then Georgia came, all these states that came online. I mean, that's our family history until you get to the old world, where they came over, and some of them from different areas, but a lot of them were England, obviously, and Ireland, a lot of Germany, a lot of those. More Germany was more, up on the East Coast. Some of those towns I've been in, a lot of German history there, a lot of stuff. Of course, yes, the marvelous Stonewall Jackson statue that was across the street from where I stayed. Yeah, I was taken down in 2017. Such a shame. If you Google that statue, you'll see what I mean. Okay, I will. Um, yeah, it's ridiculous, man. I am so against that at all. Take history for what it is. You can like it, not like it, be indifferent towards it, but don't tear down the statues and stuff. People scrimped a lot of times. Most times, I will say not most times, your statues came from people giving pennies, you know, penny, dime, nickel, and it took a lot of them. And there was the daughters, the revolution, daughters of the, Confederacy and all that. But they put together a lot of. I mean, sometimes it was the soldiers themselves that gave into funds to erect a certain statue. It took a lot of time and a lot of money and effort, and then just the making of them, the carving of them was amazing. Um, it's just pitiful that people think I'm going to tear down to this down, and they're tearing down a piece of us. I mean that's part of it. Tearing down a statue doesn't change anything. It doesn't change. That's become the thing now. I going like we went to Iraq and tore down the statue and all that, or the people did whatever the case may be. But I just don't like tearing down of that. I mean, sometimes maybe things need to be put away, like in that case. I understand why they would want to there, but ridiculous. But I just don't like. I don't like tearing down of history. Preserve it, share it, show it. Let people touch history a little bit. It's amazing to go back and you're touching something that it's a relatively new history, sure, but still to touch back 150, 160 years ago, it's not that far of a jump. And the statues would be less than that because they were done after the war, obviously. And it just I just think about those people who did the design, who worked, who scrimped and saved, and put together the money on that. It took a lot of effort. That was not today. They get big donors to give towards stuff like that. Now I did help with the statue. I gave towards it. And it was a Claiborne statue down here. We gave a lot of money. We gave thousands. But it took another 50,000 from the local telephone company down here to keep that here, and it's in that area today. I just went there recently. It's a really beautiful statue, and we almost lost that thing to Franklin, Tennessee, and Hank Williams Jr. Yes, that Hank Williams Jr. was wanting to get a hold of that project and pull it to Franklin. He's got a big farm up there and all that. He's a history buff, and he wanted to get a hold of that. And we got wind of it, and a man down here who's very involved with the history and everything went and made an appeal and was able to work out the deal to finish, because it was going to take us the amount of time it was going to take us. It wasn't a done deal that it was ours. They could have come in and just said, we'll give you all of it, and we'll take it. And that the negotiation I think we're already started, and they stepped in and got it, and we put it there because it's funny how that works. You go, those are long processes. We did that with another one. We've done several in the area, beautiful monuments, and I would be ticked off if somebody came along and toppled that. There's a monument that has one of my ancestors listed on it from the county, the ones that fought in the county down here. And that would be frustrating to me. I would be very angry if somebody went and did that. Again, I'm not going to tear down anybody else's. I'm not going to be a part of that. You never learn anything by tearing down anyway. There's no lesson in that. It just teaches destruction. So, I do not like that. I don't like that. Now, the ongoing operations, again, as they are trying to continue to clamp down on the drug cartels. As I said, I expect that there's already some covert operation going on. Jonathan, yeah, that's right, Jackson, the old Stonewall. I like that Columbia Cuba mentioned as potential targets along with Venezuela. Didn't know that. Hadn't heard that yet. Time to get our hemisphere and backyard in line. It would be great to touch Mexico as well. Definitely have been for. We got to hit these cartels and hit them strong, and put them on notice that we're not going to have that. This is also a human trafficking thing. That's a lot of human trafficking is coming through those areas, and we've just got to crack down. We've got to get that up, and I bet it was a big shock to Maduro that Russia pulled away. Like Russia said, we're not going to have anything to do with that. we're not going to help you, buddy. We're out. I think they kind of got themselves busy over there on the other side of the world anyway. Not that they wouldn't love to be involved with stuff, but they're not going to back him. And he's standing on an island. A lot of people are very happy about this because the country has, been messed up for a long time. So, making sure they say no ground troops. I don't think they need to. I think they can hit what they need to hit from the air. And let me take that back. There are troops on the ground, but that'd be covert operations, CIA, as they take out certain things and hit these these labs or whatever they're doing, or the supply chain or whatever it is. They've gotten China to back off on the fentanyl, ingredients to be, and so that has caused also, on the supply of that. So start putting a hurting on these people. Broski says, I'm not a big let's use our military on other countries person, but I've always been in favor of military on Mexico and Cuba. Need to clean up our backyard. Well, I definitely have wanted them because Mexico cannot handle the issue. If the supply chain starts in Venezuela, Colombia, they can get it. Well, wherever our young people are dying, and not only young people, adults, but it has definitely caused a. I mean, how many more people have to die before we do something? I mean, we have a war going on. It's just not, where the enemy's not, I mean, yeah, they have come over, but it's not like the army has marched over and shot them, but they have killed them. They have sent the weapon in, and it is killing our young people by the droves. And we have to do something as a nation, whether people, like or hate the president. We have to do something to stop this, and it'll never be 100%. I'm not suggesting that, but you can put such a hit on it, those numbers will drop significantly, and we can continue to work that process. But yeah, we have to. Yeah, well, sure, yeah, they get people on drugs, and big pharma is a problem, and we need to hit those things. You know, if the move, I think there's a great move now. Not by everyone. It's obvious that drugstores go up everywhere. They continue to go up. They're money makers. But when I go to the doctor, they'll ask me, how many do you take this? Do you take this? I'm like, no, no, I only have a couple of things. I'm trying to get off those. But our country is medicated to the hilt, and and that's not even talking about the illegal use, but just the legal use of drugs in our country is off the scale, and most people are on, that of any age are on a lot of different medications, which affect the body, work against each other, cause harm to our organs, and yeah, premature death. I mean, they just take you down. Paul, who's with me on uh, the Wolf Nation show and our Saturday morning show, which is basically Wolf Nation. He's off everything. He was on several things. He has some health problems that he's had due to things that happened over his life. He's off everything. He's holistic. He's doing weight. He's lost weight. He's he's doing great. And we're going to have the person that he works with on the air soon. They've already agreed. We just got to work out the details, the holistic health folks, and just get some, get the good stuff, nature stuff. And I'm not suggesting that there isn't something out there that someone needs. If you need it, you need it. But for the most part, you can get off a lot of that stuff. It's just not good for our bodies to be taking all that. And I just went to the new dentist. I was having to go through all the list of the stuff, and it just made me think about all the, I was thinking about the people that come in there and have to name all the stuff and different problems they've had, and I was sitting there being very thankful that that wasn't me, because I don't even take pain medication unless it's an absolute. I mean, I can't get relief, and I will push it to the limit. I just feel like your body will fight off these things, and 99% of the time, I am able to successfully do that. On occasion, I have taken something, but very only limited, but not even narcotic. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of it. You know, and it's our bodies are so quick to. There's the things that are addictive. Our bodies are so quick to get it. It doesn't take much. I had a friend who told me he had surgery. He fell. He fell. He had surgery, and he could not believe how quickly he became addicted to the pain medication they gave him after surgery. And this is a guy that did. He was never military. Let's say did connected stuff to the military in Central and South America, highly classified. This is not a guy that was not used to sacrifice and pain and all that. But he took a little bit, and he broke both his wrists. I mean, he couldn't use his hands for a while. But he got addicted, and he told me. He said I looked up. I realized one day that my mind was instantly going to the next time that could take the medication. That's all that was on my mind. The next when's the next one? Constantly focused on the next time, and it's not. I wouldn't ever suggest to do what he did. He went down, checked in a hotel, and went cold turkey. He didn't tell anybody. So his wife, he was going to be away. He went to a hotel, spent the weekend, fought it, come out clean, went back to his doctor, told him what he did. He said, "You're crazy. You should let me help you with it." But he did it, and he never took another one. But he said, "Yeah, I don't remember which one it was." He told me, but I don't remember. But he said, "I was a full-on addict after 2 weeks." He said, "I couldn't believe it." Guy's was about 50, 55 years old, and had, done things. He just wasn't a guy that was ever down. He'd never been. I don't think he'd ever been really hurt or injured or anything. I mean, he even was very careful when he went and did these operations so he wouldn't get sick on the water and stuff. I mean, he'd been all up and down, spent months in areas. He told me his diet, what he ate and stuff, so he would stay clean. I mean, that was all about, staying healthy and doing the operation and getting out. And here I couldn't believe it. Here I fell at my house painting or something. And then he says, I'm addicted. Crazy. I wouldn't want to be anything like that. Hey, our coffees are going to be rebranded to the Wolf Nation coffees. We've got our logo up. I've got to get it to Drip Shipper, but the logo, the QR code, still works. You can go to our Shopify store and get our coffees. I have in a new sample pack. I've got in one flavor a blend that I've never had with them, and I also went back with the breakfast blend. And we have the wife on the pod. She's on the maintenance, which means she'll get that every month at the same time that it's automatically shipped that. So the SFP coffees are still there. We're just changing the logos out. And Wolf Nation, we like the we like that because it represents outdoors and getting out and enjoying your adventure and everybody wants their coffee. You think about coffee on I remember those mornings waking up out and doing reenactments and stuff, and that was always so good to get up and have that coffee around the campfire. And so anyway, Wolf Nation Fresh represents all of that, Wolf Nation Adventures. And we're going to be talking about Appalachian Trail and other trail hikers, interviewing them. But any kind of adventure we're going to be talking about. We've already started, really, but the official kickoff for Wolf Nation is soon. We're trying to arrange that and just we're getting our schedule kind of reset on some things. Last night I haven't fully reset that, working on that. We still did the 2 shows, but yeah, we're still resetting that, but be looking for a couple of new shows as well as all the ones we've been doing. We're just trying to get me back going. I missed a few shows, but back on the go, ready to get it, and looking forward to it. But be looking for those. And our newest affiliate is Fruit Hero out of Australia. I've got a shipment on the way of some stuff that will help extend your vegetables up to 3 months in your fridge. And we'll be showing that very, very soon. I'm just waiting for their first shipment to come in. We'll be sharing that live on the air and sharing our QR code. We've already shared it some out on the socials, but it'll be out there more. Fruit Hero. Be a hero of your home. Save money. Keep those things. I always hate it. You got something you intended to use it, didn't quite get around to it. Next thing you know, it's like, got to throw it away. This will help you not have to do that. And that's always a good thing, especially this day and time with prices as high as they are. Of course, we're still with the Hodge twins using the promo code Cornbread, Patriot Mobile, still the same ones, Cornbread. We've got Dubby, Southern Fried is our promo code, and Mammoth. I have to use the QR code on that. We didn't get a promo name or code name, but we do have and you'll see those out on the socials as well. So all those are still intact and still there, and we're going to be kicking off all those, a new look as we do the labels different, the logos different, and we'll be getting that out hopefully over the weekend. So be looking for that. We're still rocking on, no changes. Everything is just some new things. Our history show, matter of fact, hopefully we'll be getting back into that tonight. Still got to do our next music show. Like I say, a little bit of jumble, just try to get things kind of situated back out again. But we're continuing on. We kind of did our music show this week with the Neils, so I kind of bumped it up and did that. We'll get back into our talk show with the Southern Fried Soundstage. We'll be talking our next part 2 of Def Leppard as we talk about that band. We got up to, but not into Pyromania. We did the first 2 albums. We'll get into Pyromania, probably stay there for a show. And then we'll move on to Hysteria, and then move on to another band. Probably we're going to just keep going and go through these bands. Yesterday was Ozzy Osbourne's birthday. I remember that. Ozzy Osbourne. Well, the one thing whether you like Ozzy or not, one thing I've always appreciated about him was the guitars that he brought through. Wow, what a lineup. A who's who of guitarists that he always had around. Amazing, the guitarist that he worked with. It matches up against anybody. Um, but yeah, it was great to. That's my youth. I mean, I grew up, you know, through the '70s into the '80s and '90s and on beyond, and to hear those different influences as he would change guitars. That was pretty amazing. And they all have their own uniqueness. They're not alike. Nobody is. But what else is going on in the world today? Well, Trump calls Omar garbage. He calls Omar garbage and said, "Don't want Somalis in the U.S." Well, he's going to take some people off. He's facing heat on it, they say, for calling the immigrants garbage. Oh my goodness. It's going to get ugly, I mean, I'm amazed. I really felt like we would kind of go a little slower into the midterms. I don't know if that's good. I thought they might save the heaviest hitters for after the midterms. I don't think he cares. We're not even going to get to 2026. And, the special election in Tennessee, the Republican did win. They thought that they could flip that seat. They did not. Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat will be that'll be a special election too, right after the first of the year in my district, 14th district. I think that they have to announce the date for that by December 5th, tomorrow. I think, or is it January 5th? It's either December 5th or January 5th, and that's going to be a quick. And I'll be involved with that. So it'll be a special election for 14th district. I think there's already 3 or 4 or 5 names lined up to try to fill that seat. And as she steps down, I think that's when she's stepping out, is January. But I think they have to announce that very soon, because you gotta get things set up. That's good, and that's going to be a short run, because that seat will come up again at the midterms. So it's one of those where we have to call the troops all together. It'll be one thing on the ticket, and that's it. So there'll be, in my little precinct, probably 4 of us, like there was last time. And we'll have an election day just like we do, a special election with that. And, because you have to have they'll have the run, and if they have a runoff, I would not be surprised. It just depends on how many runs. So that'll be another day. They'll have the election, and then if we have a runoff, then they'll come back and do it, and we're going to be busy in the 14th for the special election, and come back around 26. A big ticket. That's going to be a big ballot. Make sure you print off in Georgia. It's really easy. You just go to the Secretary of State's office there and print off your sample ballot. You put in very simply last name, birthday, I think county that you live in. Something. It's very easy. It walks you right through it. You print off the sample ballot, and you can take that. It's legal to take that into the voting booth and help help voters out. If husbands, help your wife out. If you have a child that's just turned 18, first time voting, work together as a family. Don't a lot of times I see people come in, they're looking to vote for one thing or maybe a couple things. And they get in there and they see all these names and offices, and they have no clue what they're voting on, or they don't even know what the people do. They don't know nothing about them. Sit down as a family and kind of walk through that. There's voting guides that will help you. Take your sample ballot, go out. You can go ahead and make your selections on the sample ballot. So when you get in the voting booth, you can pull that out and you can use it. And because, that when you walk away, you will know who you voted for. That's another thing. People vote. They want to take their ballot with them. We're like, no, you can't take that. That's your official ballot. And I know the president's called for all paper. I don't think that's going to happen very soon, but there's going to be a big push to do that. And that's another argument. But it is, but at the very least, print the sample ballot out, make your selections. That way, when your family walks into the voting booth, they don't forget. They walk in there, they know, oh yeah. Click, 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 get down there and bring it to the scanner and get it in and officially cast, and then you're out. And it just, take the time. And if you're not going to do that, stop and read the ones that we post on the wall and study, get those. And you can always go back out to your car pull out your phone, do some study on the in the moment, and study those who's running for those offices, and and hopefully it will refresh your mind of who maybe you need to vote for. But those will be coming up very, very soon, and because we're going to have special elections, so um, some say other things. I had tried to get her on an interview. I just never could quite pull it off. I was been to 3 of her town halls, but I did talk to her staff. I did put in a request. I just never could get it. She gets a lot of requests. I get it. We weren't quite probably big enough, been around long enough at the time, but we are in her district, and we'll just see what shakes out of this. This is going to be a lot of money pouring in over this seat from out of the state. It'll be a big push. But I can tell you, people in the 14th were not against her. They were going to stand with her. They weren't happy, and they're not happy that she ducked out. They're ticked off about it. Not happy at all. Not happy about right after she gets her her repension. There's a lot of people very upset, but she she had a lot of support here, and if the person that comes in can align with kind of those same things that America first, better stand with that, they'll do well, but they better be true about it. But the district will stand with that. But I'm gonna tell you, she really pulled a strong vote. She really did. Um, I wonder what's next for her. I cannot would not believe that she is done in politics. I just couldn't believe. I won't believe it. I I don't fully understand what happened either between her and President Trump. There's a couple things I thought about. One is that because she does oppose actions that he has taken on certain issues, not every issue, certain issues. She definitely made our ground. I thought maybe it was on a couple of fronts. She was definitely against us being involved in the Middle East at all. She was definitely against us being involved in the Ukraine-Russia war at all. She was all about bringing those monies back home and using them here to help people in America, especially veterans. So if I always thought maybe there was something international. It was going to be a close vote. Maybe the operations that we had going forward. Maybe the Venezuela thing. Maybe that he just wanted her out of the way because she was. The votes may be tight on some stuff, although right now he doesn't need a vote on that. But I just wonder what's ahead. I think they're lining up for something big, and they wanted a vote that they could. They're going to just say yes every time to whatever he's doing. That's what they wanted, and she was not that person. And I will say this for the president: he does get mad, he gets angry, and if you oppose him on something, he has that write you off moment. That's happened before, and he started calling her names and saying she'd lost it, and I never heard her message change, really. I mean, there might have been a couple of things that she talked about that maybe a lot of people weren't happy about, but I think a lot of that was them using the power of the office to really paint her up as bad. I never noticed her making any big change in her messaging. She always said the same things. She didn't care who you were. And one thing, you could hate her, you could love her, but there's one thing you have to say about her. She never backed off. Talking about a bulldog, she was like a bulldog, broski. She stayed engaged into that, even when it hurt. When she lost all committee assignments, you are basically lame duck at that moment. All you can do is press conferences, and you'll never get a vote in. Nobody will ever vote with you, so you can't get anything, to help your district and state. You're not a part of mapping policy of any kind, presenting things. That's what these different ones that you're on do. And they didn't even leave her on the bad ones. I mean, if I say bad, there's some that are just so small that it's these committees, it's like, the committee over, I don't know, study of mosquitoes or something. I don't know. But there's some of them just, they're not considered powerful. Anything to do with transportation or national defense, these are major committees. She was removed from everything. And so there for a long time, and she finally got back in. Yeah, I mean, I don't. There are details, I'm sure, Broski, that we just don't know about what's going on. I figure they. This is what happens. We know this with any administration. Your staff is getting on the phone with different senators, and they're gauging support for certain things that they may be, would you support the president in this? And if they they start putting the yeses and the nos. And we've seen those movies about that where they're working the phones, and then that's where which Trump is not like that to this degree, but always they call it making sausage. But the promises start going out. Okay, what are you going to do for my district? What can I get? I need some money for a bridge. I need this. Whatever it is, and they'll start working that to make deals back with the administration to get that for their area. And then they'll say, and okay, now I'll give you my vote for that. Well, I don't recall her ever doing that. She just said yay or nay. I mean, she was either for it or she was against it, and he didn't like that. But so I've always felt like something is coming up, and whether that's war or what, I don't know. But to be able to hold that line is so thin. It is a very thin margin. They can't have many defections, or he wouldn't get support. I just felt like they were strengthening up, looking to get somebody in there that is a person that they could call up and say, "We'll be doing this," and oh yes sir, the old yes man. I don't know. That's just my guess, but something definitely went really off the rails. Even back when he was running for reelection, it wasn't that close. She was at some events as being in the state, but it wasn't buddy buddy like it was before. So we'll see. But I will be helping with that. I've been working with elections now for 3 or 4 years, and we will be doing that soon. So the law it's all the same work. It's just how many people come. I imagine there'll be a lot of voters come out though, because she's a name, and a lot of people are going to be very interested in this. It'll be interesting to see. This is one we're going to cover from the SFP News desk quite a bit. And as this thing, I'm just waiting on them to announce a date and see who all is qualified, and start covering that story because that is a big one. And then going into 26, it's there's a lot of seats up for grab. A lot of governors throughout the South. Almost seems like every governor. Oh, it's not that bad, but almost there's quite a few of them. There's going to change hands. They're termed out, and there are going to be some new governors in the South, and it's going to be interesting to see where that goes, especially here in Georgia, because a lot of people are ready for Kemp to go, but who replaces? He's propping up people for. They try to pass off and give their support to the next person, but come on. We showed them up here once. There is a rumor. It's not done, but the person that's made the senator for another senator for the 53rd district, Colton Moore, who has made national news. Colton Moore, he has not declared, but there's a lot of rumors that he's going to declare for this. He's as vocal and as loud as she is. And he's the one that they pulled him off they barred him from the other house. They barred him from the house. Remember, they had the joint session, and he went to go in, and he had his hands in his pockets. He said, "Sir, I have a right to be in there, sir. All senators and representatives were allowed to be in here." And they knocked him down and arrested him. Remember that guy, Colton Moore, and he is, like I said, he went down to the airport. And he went and showed the place where they're bringing in some of these illegals and stuff. And he was really on the national levels for a while. Not so much right now, but he has been. There's a lot of talk that he may run. I don't know if he will or not, but there's a lot of talk he might run for that seat. And that would be, he would gather a lot of support. A lot of support. That would be a check against now. And I'd say he's a Trump guy. To a degree, I don't know, but that's interesting. That's not the guy that Trump's going to be supporting. I don't believe. I think he's got another person. but it'll be really interesting to see who shakes out of this. This seat is now recognized across the world. Think about that. So I tell people, I said, whether you like her or not, she has made the 14th district recognized across the world. More people talk about that seat than they ever have in any of the history of it ever being a seat. I never recall that. It is on a national level. Some say she's embarrassed us. Well, she put us on the map. And it definitely was beneficial in many ways. Sometimes we did, coverage we didn't want? Sure. But for her, that was very, publicity is publicity. It gets you reelected. She definitely was queen of staying in front of the cameras on a national level. And, if it's on a national level, how hot and heavy it is on the local level. And he would be a person that would be Colton Moore. I'm talking about would be a person that would be definitely would be a huge story. The networks would be jump all over that. He's the auctioneer. I could just see them covering that. They've already pointed it out before because he's made the national news, and the auctioneer, like he's not a senator, but that's what he was, professional auctioneer. He's a caller, but I tried to get him on. I talked to him on the phone. It just didn't work out. Was never able to get. It just wasn't that close. But I did talk to him, and I'd love to have him on the air as well. So we'll work the phones as we get through the holidays, and then we'll try to see. It's a busy season, a lot of things going on, and people are spending time with their family, and then we'll try to catch them before they go into session. That's really hard to get in touch with them. But around there's a little dead period there where maybe we can get somebody on. So I look forward to attempting to do that. And I need to get my representative from the area back on. Hadn't talked to him in a while, and he was always willing to come back on. Thank you, Borowski. I appreciate that. Yeah, that part, because we did lose. Those were his, the Facebook and the YouTube. So I'm rebuilding. Which my Facebook's pretty large. Just got to get people used to coming over to it. And then the YouTube. Thank you for that, though. I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks a whole bunch. And means a lot. We're rocking on. We're going to continue on. We're doing, 25 plus shows a week, and we want you to come in. We got a little something for everybody. I have a new show. I wanted to kick it off last night. Timing wasn't right, but weapons of mass destruction. That don't let that just paint you one way. That has a lot of different thoughts in it. Yeah, I just mentioned that we're not working together anymore. Yeah, that he's moved on and doing his own thing. We parted friends, but it's it is what it is. And so yeah, me and Rob are not together anymore. And he's used the SFP logo, and he still uses Southern Fried Podcast. I'm Southern Fried Patriots. But I'm Wolf Nation, I'm Cornbread Nation, I'm all these things. And I'm known as the Cornbread Man, so it's kind of centered around that. But we use the SFP as well. We're just Southern Fried Patriots. But we're lots of things. And we have the radio station. I've got to get that. It's active, but I got to get really moving on that and do more. We just had to do a lot of work to do some separating and, wish him well. And, hey, we did a lot of work together, and I'm not ashamed of any of that. We did a lot of good stuff together, and very happy about it. Good morning, Watchman. How are you? Catching us at the very end of a show here. Hope you're well. My guitar man, the guitar man. I like that. I got to watch. I got a couple more videos yours I got to watch. I was thinking about that. I have been so busy, but I'm trying to get caught back up. I was even watching, I want to say, as I get near the end, I was watching video from some Russian journalists, and they were showing how quickly the Russian army is steamrolling across some of the areas of Ukraine. They were out there showing the Ukrainian mines and stuff. I was watching a channel that really highlights that. And they were okay. I'll check that out, man. I promise. Maybe, hopefully, I've just been having some dental work, man. When you have your face, I got to have more done today. It's not heavy work, but it is some dental work. And then I've got another heavier one coming up. I don't know when that'll be, but But yeah, they were showing the Ukraine how the Ukrainians are in retreat. The lines are falling apart, and it's something's got to happen. you know, Zelensky's right hand man goes to the front and hides out. They're after him for corruption, and I think the walls are closing in around Zelensky. He's losing support, and he's losing American support, and they're pushing hard. The problem is, I don't know that Russia will deal. That's the only problem. Might sound better. Yeah, Broski probably is. Oh, but Zelensky, little man, that will be a clip that will go down in history. The dressing down of Zelensky at the White House. You're not going to come here and talk to us like that. Sit down in your chair. Put a suit on. I noticed that they all do that. The whole leadership of Ukraine, they wear their little camos type military outfits, but in certain circles when they go places, they put the suit on because they know it's not going to fly. He wouldn't even wear a tie. I know, a bum. I can't stand that guy. He come in trying to walk like he's bad dude and all that, Mr. Tough Guy. No, that might have worked with the Democrats. That didn't work with the president at all. Yes, Broski, the longer it goes on, the more they're going to lose to Russia. Absolutely. And they're not getting that land back. Those are Russian-speaking people for the most part. I'm not saying it was right what they did, but he's going to end up losing the whole thing if they don't get this idiot out of the way, because there's no way. I have said that Putin will not deal with this guy. He hates him. And I don't think he'll ever make an agreement where that guy could ever stand up and say, hey, we got some kind of an agreement here, It's going to have to be somebody else. He wants that. He wants that leadership gone. And, of course, take as much land as he can while he does. But why should he? Here's the deal. Putin, for his part, has figured out that President Trump will talk tough but not follow up on some things in this area. He's not going to go there. So he knows that. He's read the room really well. He knows Zelensky can't stop him. Europe is a joke. They're not going to do anything. And as long as he doesn't touch NATO, who's going to stop him? Who is going to stop him? They're not going to stop him. And so, everything east of the river will be theirs, and that he will get that without a doubt. And why is he doing this? Well, some cultural, historical motherland stuff, sure. But we know what he's after. One thing that Vladimir Putin has always wanted is all of the power and money and everything that goes with it. He's like an old mafia guy, but he wants those natural minerals and stuff that they need. And America's after them as well. That and China, that is this whole fight has become all about that. Who gets control of that? We are desperate to get a new source for that. They're wanting to box out China, and Russia will. The deal is they're trying to make is that Russia will get a lot and will get a lot. And that's the deal, and that they'll rebuild the parts of Ukraine that needs to be rebuilt. Money will be poured into that, but the president is releasing all of the money back to them, except for an amount he's going to send to Ukraine and to rebuild them. I think that'll be a sticking point. But well, I don't disagree with you on that at all. I think that it all goes back. Yeah, sure, I get it. I can be not a fan of somebody and recognize what he's doing, and for him, this is all a matter of national pride and money. But he's a hero to his people. Although the people they've lost a lot of men. I mean, a lot of men. The damage is definitely there, but he will be seen as going after. This regime, they just look at him as a bunch of Nazis, and they're brutal. I mean, they are. It's a brutal leadership there on that side, the Ukrainian side. They understand that mentality because they're pretty brutal themselves. But it's unfortunate And so maybe, he sees all those kids they've taken back into the country, as Russian kids, even though they're Ukrainian. It's ugly mess. War is always ugly. Um, yeah, earth minerals. You're exactly right. Yeah, there's, they go back and there's some Nazi stuff that they talk about, certain elements of the Ukrainian leadership, symbols they use and backgrounds. That's the claim. So anyway, it is bad, 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 and we've helped Ukraine with a lot of us and the Israelis. Yes, have helped with a lot of um, giving them information, where to strike, the drones. So we've definitely given them intel on that. I don't have time this morning, but on the show that's coming up, I want to talk about the new AI battlefield stuff that Israel and America is working really hard on. I think will probably be used in Venezuela. And my belief, I'll end with this. My belief is that when President Trump says you can run, but you can't hide, we will kill you wherever you go, I believe it's because he knows of the software that we have that has been is being mutually developed and is being used in the battlefields already. And basically, you can't hide. You can't hide. There's no way, and they will find you wherever you are. And it's the most powerful stuff on the face of the planet right now, and it is next gen powerful stuff. And we're going to talk about that in a show very, very soon. I don't know if it'll be this week. It might be first next week. I want to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the two companies that are developing that or have developed it and continue to redevelop it and make it stronger. But this thing takes in everything, and it basically does all the work for you and shows you where these people are at any given moment. They know where the enemies are. They know how to hit them. That's why they can do the pinpoint strikes. And yeah, collateral damage, yeah, it'll be there, but they know where the people are. There's no hiding from them. They know where they're at. Yeah, they have to go deep in the cave, and they'll still know where you're at. That's why Vladimir Putin, it's been over 2 or 3 years ago. I think it's before the war even started. He told his staff to get away from electronics and go back to pencil and paper. Why did he do that? He knew what we had. He knows what we have. It's amazing. Yeah. So anyway, appreciate there's a lot of ugly stuff there in that. But I do got to get the kiddos to school. Surprised I haven't come through the door yet. And we'll see you tonight. And y'all have a great day out there. Take care. Appreciate y'all coming in. Appreciate your support of the Cornbread Man, the SFP, still Southern Fried Patriots, and all the Cornbread Nation and all that goes with that. We appreciate you. Take care. God bless. We'll see you soon.
What a